Woo! What's going on, guys? Arms Forum coming at you guys today with another video. And today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Detroit Lions at the New England Patriots. This is the aftermath. Lions lose this game 0-29. Lions fall to 1-4. Patriots go to 2-3. Let's get right into this game. We're going to get right into the injuries right off the jump. Cornerback Savion Smith had a very scary moment for the Detroit Lions. Got a neck injury. Didn't really see what happened. I guess there was a collision. He was carted off the field by ambulance. It was a very scary moment. He was lying on his side, not moving whatsoever. Dad comes on the field. It looks like maybe there was another man that came on the field too as well. It looked like it could have been his uncle or somebody like that, but his dad was out there. He got carted right away. He was done. Boom, ambulance right out the door to the hospital. Apparently, he's doing a little bit better now. He's got some feelings in his extremities, in his hands, and his feet and stuff like that. I think he's moving around a bit. I don't know if he's walking around or anything, but he's not paralyzed. But he probably will be done for the year. And it was a loss. It was a scary moment. You know, sometimes when we talk about football, sometimes things are a little bit bigger than football when injuries like this occur. And thank the stars that cornerback Savion Smith is okay. But we did lose him, and it looks like he'll probably be done for the year. We lost a bunch of guys this game. We lost like 4 or 5 secondary guys. We lost Will Harris with a groin injury during this game. We lost safety Deshaun Elliott with cramps. He was even kind of carted off the field too as well. And I think it was cramps, but he was having a decent game. If anybody was having a good game on the defense, it was Deshaun Elliott. The safety, Ifeatu Melifonwu, he got hurt too. He had an ankle injury going. So we lost like four DBs, and just injuries were crazy. And the Patriots, man, so they lost guys too. Running back Damian Harris went down with a hamstring. Wide receiver Nelson Aguilar went down with a hamstring. And then quarterback Jonathan Jones left the game with an ankle injury. So, I don't want to hear the excuses. We don't got no one on the field. They lost a couple key guys as well, and Harris and Aguilar. So let's not hear that. This team is completely devoid of talent, even when injuries happen. So injuries happen all the time. We're just a terrible football team. But let's get into the stats. Lions were the away team, so I usually do that first. Quarterback Jared Goff was 19-35, 229 yards, 0 touchdowns, a pick. He did have a fumble too on a sack. 54% completion percentage. He was bad all around. The whole offense was absolutely horrific. Obviously, not scoring any points. Just a bad game by everybody on the offense. Everybody. Nobody really had a decent game. Except maybe Josh Reynolds. We'll get to that in a bit. The running back Jamal Williams was 15 carries for 56 yards, 3.7 yards per carry. Running back Craig Reynolds, he did have an okay game. He was 6 carries for 24 yards and 4 yards per carry. Then running back Justin Jackson was 3 carries for 14 yards at 4.7 yards per carry. Looks like they maybe need to start going to him a little bit more too as well. They're receiving Josh Reynolds, like I said. He was 6 catches for 92 yards on 10 targets. He had a decent game. Craig Reynolds had 3 catches for 68 yards. He had a big catch and run in that game. He caught all 3 of his targets as well. Khalif Raymond was 5 for 45 yards, 7 targets. Amon-Ra St. Brown was kind of taken away from us. He was on a snap count as well. 4 catches for 18 yards on 6 targets. And then Hawk, after having that gigantic game last week, has 1 catch on 4 targets. 1. So I just don't get what happened there. Just taken away. He was just taken away by that New England defense. And then defensively, safety Deshaun Elliott, like I was talking about earlier, had 12 total tackles and a pick. It was a nice pick on a deflected ball that should have been caught by the wide receiver from the Patriots, but he did make a nice play on it. Cornerback A.J. Parker had 6 tackles. Defensive end Austin Bryant had 5 tackles. Defensive tackle Isaiah Buggs had 5 tackles. He did have a sack, too, that was taken away on a penalty. Linebacker Malcolm Rodriguez didn't have a good game. The rookie, he only had 4. And then Hutch had a couple tackles as well. Had a pressure, maybe 1 or 2 pressures. Should have got to Bailey Zappi on one of those pressures. And just over pursued. He's still just playing wild. He needs to learn the game. He really does, because he had him dead to rights, and Zappi just kind of sidestepped him and just, and then Zappi had a 8-9 yard gain for on the run. He's not even a runner. And then the Patriots, stats, fourth round rookie, Bailey Zappi was 17 for 21, 188 yards, a touchdown, a pick. He had a fumble too as well on kind of a botched snap and exchange between the running back. I think they got the ball back on that one though, but he wasn't like throwing the ball completely all over the field, but his efficiency was there, completing 80% of his passes. That's pathetic on Detroit's defense. They can't stop nobody, man. So it doesn't matter who you're playing. It just doesn't matter who this defense is playing. They just can't stop anybody. This kid's a fourth round rookie, and they made him look comfortable all day. It's just bad. And then running back Ramondre Stevenson had 25 carries for 161 yards, had a career day, 6.4 yards per carry. I don't think he had a touchdown run, though. I don't remember if he had a touchdown run. I don't think he did. No. And then Damian Harris, they're usually their go-to guy. They kind of mix it up pretty good there. He did get hurt after 4 carries, so he was out, and it was all Ramondre Stevenson. And then the receiving, wide receiver Jacoby Myers had 7 catches for 111 yards, 1 touchdown on 8 targets. Tight end Hunter Henry had 4 for 54 yards on 5 targets. And then Nick Folk, their kicker, nailed all 5 field goals, all 5 attempts. The defense, quarterback Jonathan Jones, the guy who got hurt, he had 4 tackles. Linebacker Jelani Tavai had 5 tackles as well. Cornerback Jack Jones, the rookie, had 3 tackles and a really nice pick on a ball that Goff never should have thrown. But he did jump up and get it, and he was coming down. Looked like he was coming down out of bounds, and then did the toe tap, man, the toe drag swag that Nate Burleson would have been really proud of. Then the defensive end, Matthew Judon, who kind of, was harassing Goff all day, had 3 tackles, a couple sacks, forced fumble, and then safety Kyle Duggar had 4 tackles, a fumble recovery that he took into the end zone for a touchdown on a really bad fourth and 9, I believe it was, call that Dan Campbell tried to do. They were 0 for 5. They were 0 for 5 on their 4th down attempts. Now, this was a game. I've calmed down a little bit since yesterday. I went on a podcast, lost my mind on a guy in the chat. He's just being a douche. He's just being a douche and stuff like that, and trying to tell me that I don't know football because I'm Canadian and making fun of me and stuff like that because I criticize this team that they need to do some things. It's just this fan base, man. You can't criticize anybody on this team. This team is a joke. They're a terrible football team. They are. I knew this offense was good going into this game. I thought they were going to put some points on the board. Obviously, I was waiting for them to get shut down eventually. I didn't think it was going to be this week. They did. The defense is the main problem here. There's lots of stuff to get into, man. This coaching staff, Aaron Glenn, I don't think he's the one. I'm not calling for Dan Campbell's head by any stretch at all. But something needs to be done with him too. He needs to bring in somebody, a game management guy. The Denver Broncos just did it with Nathaniel Hackett. Not that that's always going to work, but something needs to be done here with him, with Dan Campbell. He's losing this fan base if he hasn't already lost it already. So it's a bad look. Like, it's a really bad look at what's going on in Detroit. But let's talk about the Lions versus the Patriots. Like I said, we didn't do anything. So there's nothing to really talk about for this Lions offense. There's nothing to talk about. Goff had a bad game. The O-line had a bad game. Jamal Williams couldn't get going. Amon-Ra St. Brown was kind of on a snap count. They kind of took him away. The Patriots took away T.J. Hawkinson. Just Goff couldn't get in a rhythm. The offense the whole day could not get into a rhythm. Whatever the Patriots were doing, it worked. Taking away some players, taking away guys like Hawkinson on that bad throw by Goff where he tried to get it into Hawk. He threw it up high. Goff, like Hawkinson was double covered. Jack Jones kind of came in a little bit. It looked like the rookie came in a little bit late, but he made an amazing interception, jumped up real high to get it. The ball shouldn't have been thrown, but that's going to happen sometime. Goff could not get into a rhythm. It was just a bad overall offensive game. Just like it was eventually going to happen. They need to scrap this. They need to scrap what happened. Maybe look at some film and see what the hell did they do and we need to work on. And I'm sure Ben Johnson and Jared Goff and the rest of the crew will do that because they just couldn't get going on anything, running, throwing. Couldn't open up holes. The whole line was confused. Goff looked confused. Just the whole thing, the whole offensive scheme looked confused. So they need to scrap it. The Patriots did well. And like I said, this is a copycat league. The Patriots, what the Patriots did there, to the number one offense in the league, one of the best offenses in the league by far, is a copycat league. Other teams will do this. Other teams will look at that. Will look at that tape and say, okay, what did they do to shut that down? Because it's not going to get any easier from here on out, especially when you get shut down, and then teams will copycat that. So we'll see what happens. They got a bye. Couldn't come at a better time. Going into the bye at 1-4 is never ideal, but at least they have a time to marinate in this bull that they did out there yesterday and talk about it, whatever. And then the Lions defense versus the Patriots. So they were going up against a 4th-round rookie that broke all kinds of records in college, by the way. His last year, I think it was at Western Kentucky. He threw a bunch of touchdowns. He broke all kinds of FBS records, 62 touchdowns through the air or and ground maybe, all kinds of air yards. He threw the ball all over the field. He come through a very, very high octane offense, but he's a 4th-round rookie, and they made him look like a 3rd-year, 4th-year veteran. He was comfortable all day, barely getting any pressure on him. Matt Patricia was the offensive coordinator here. Well, they don't really have an OC, but it's pretty much his offense. Him and Joe Judge, got a couple other guys that kind of chime in. But the Lions defense couldn't stop a Bailey Zappi. They couldn't stop a 2nd-year running back in Ramondre Stevenson. What a career day. The D-line sucks. Hutch is struggling. He needs help. Everybody needs help on this defense. It's not, Hutch is not playing up to the number 2 overall pick. I get that. I'm not going to call the kid a bust. It's stupid to do so. And people that say that he is a bust don't understand the game. And, you can have your opinions on that, but you can't call a kid a bust because if you're going to do that, look at all the other defensive ends that came into the year as a rookie. We're going to call Myles Garrett a bust. You're going to call the Bosa brothers bust. They didn't have fantastic games going into week 5 yet. You know what I mean? They let the kid work. I think he's going to be a good football player for this team. Is he going to be the next Nick or Joey Bosa or Jared Allen, whatever we're comparing him to? Who knows? Right now it's not looking good. I'm not going to call him a bust. The whole defense sucks. The whole defense, top to bottom. And we lost a bunch of DBs yesterday too as well. So, but Jacoby Myers, he had a great day, 7 catches for 111 yards and a touchdown. Okuda, Amani Warrior. Amani Warrior didn't even play. I think he was out on a coaching decision. Sat him, and Campbell came out. I think the Campbell come out today or yesterday with he doesn't play much special teams. That's why he wasn't suited. I don't get that. I don't understand why the hell are you playing him all year then? That sounds like a very weak statement from Dan Campbell because he doesn't play much special teams. What? I know you guys want a lot of special teams. You want versatility, you want all that, but he is a number 2 corner on this team. He did play number 1 corner last year. Was he playing special teams last year? I don't recall. If he was, let me know. This whole team is just, this whole defense is a joke. Aaron Glenn needs to be dismissed. Needs to be put up in a booth just like they did with Anthony Lynn last year. Yeah, and then You're going to tell me, well, who are we going to bring in, Mark? Well, we worry about that at the end of the year. We worry about that at the end of the year. For now, you switch it up. Unless there's nobody in that coaching staff on defensive side that can take over. Is it an Aubrey Pleasant? Is it who would it be? I couldn't begin to tell you. But something needs to be done. They told us they're going to make all these changes for this game. Only real change I saw, Hutch looked like he was playing a little more outside. You got to switch that kid all over the place. You got to put him a little more. He looks like he was playing almost a wide 9 defensive end a lot. I barely seen him going inside if he did at all. Amani being benched was something big. Deshaun Elliott apparently sat too for the first series or two or whatever. He was supposedly, there's rumors going around that he sent a tweet out that he wants out of Detroit, and that's why he was benched. So it's just, everything is going downhill for this team right now. Everything is going downhill. Going into the bye week at 1-4 doesn't help out the situation either. So, that Patriots offense, the Patriots offense had its way with the Detroit defense, obviously, and something needs to be done about it. Something needs to be done because Campbell, like I said earlier in my video last night, I made a late video. Campbell's going to get himself fired. He's already losing this fan base. So someone's going to fall on the sword, like I said. Someone's going down. I don't know who it's going to be eventually, but something has to happen. Or Campbell just walks out the door himself because he can't let this continue. He can't let this continue. You can't be 1-4. This team sold us on how competitive, on how good they were going to be, and they are dog shit. Sorry, they are dog shit. Just playing tough doesn't cut it anymore. The grit and all this stuff. Nobody cares about grit. Win some games. I never thought they were going to the playoffs, but my God, you can't be losing these games like this. It's just a very disappointing season so far. The season's almost done. The season's practically done now. You're 1-4. Tell me where there's a win on the schedule. You're not beating the Jets. You're not beating the Jaguars. Do we play the Texans? I think we do. I think we do. I don't think we're beating them. I don't know if we play the Texans, actually, to tell you the truth. I don't know. But we're not beating them. We're not going to beat Green Bay. We're not going to beat Minnesota. Are we going to beat Chicago? I don't know. This is just, everything's going downhill. And I'm sorry that I sound like, like this Debbie Downer, but there's nothing to be excited about. Nothing. All Brad Holmes makes these picks. Where are they? They've disappeared. Everybody's hurt. Levi. Where's Levi? Where's Pascal? Jameson Williams. The guys are all due back soon, but when? Kirby Joseph. He's not ready. It sucks. It sucks to be a Lions fan right now. I'm not going to jump ship or anything like that, but it's a brutal feeling. It's an absolute brutal feeling. And this is a deflating loss. This is the type of loss that you lose fans on because you're just spewing BS. This hard knocks crap, all this stuff, people fell right into it. Including myself a little. I didn't think we were going to make the playoffs. I thought we were going to be better. We should not. This team shouldn't be 1-4, but we are because it's in us. This is the way it is for Lions fans, and it sucks. It does suck a lot. We know nothing but losing, and it has to change, man. It has to change, and how is it going to change? Don't have a clue. I don't think anybody does. It needs to be done, though. It needs to be done. They got a bye week going into week 6. They got time to marinate this. Think about how you got pretty much embarrassed in week 5, and then throw it away, and then on to Dallas. You got to play a Dallas Cowboy team that is on a roll, that has a killer defense. They're not doing great things on offense, but they're running the ball well. Cooper Rush. I think it's going to. He's won 4 in a row, first time ever. for a quarterback like that. He's not doing anything special. If you go look at his numbers, he's not doing nothing special. He's just playing it safe. His defense is pretty much taken over. They are a legitimate defense, the Dallas Cowboys, and that's who you're playing Week 7. Now, will it be Dak? Dak Prescott could be back. Time will tell. Time will tell. But this was an embarrassing loss. Sorry about the Debbie Downer-ish, but there's nothing to be really up about. So I'm sure I'll get the Homer delusional fan base coming at me, saying, Mark, man, don't you switch teams? And what, man, you're such a downer. You know what? Beat it. I just don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. So if you're gonna come at me, I'll be coming right back at you, because I lost my mind on a podcast yesterday, and I have no qualms about it. None. Zero. Not when you attack me in my football intelligence, and you attack me just at a personal level. I went nuts. And that douchebag knows who he is. He knows who he is, and he's a douchebag. And he knows he's a douchebag because everybody thought he was too. But I did lose my cool, and that's fine. And I don't apologize to that piece of shit. But c'est la vie. We're done with it. We're done with it, and we're on to the bye. Can't lose in the bye, fellas, ladies and germs. We can't not lose in the bye. So, and then on to the Cowboys. Now we'll see what happens between now and 2 weeks, because there could be some more changes coming. Who knows? But thanks for the video, guys. It was a long one. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button in the bottom right. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Get all my videos. Don't forget to like, comment, share this out. Hopefully we can change this ship around. We got to do something. Something needs to be done. Thanks, guys. One pride. Go Lions. Boom.